Today we're going to make a cracker of a dish. We are going to make chicken tikka masala, one of my all-time favorites. Some people say it was invented in Glasgow. Other people say it was invented in India. And some people even say, well, let me know in the comments down below where you think this dish originated from. I'm going to show you how to get a gorgeous marinade on some chicken thighs that we're going to use for the tikka. Get a lovely authentic spice blend going all the way through that. And then we're going to make a nice creamy sauce to finish this all off. An absolute decadent chicken tikka masala. Like I said, one of my all-time favorites. So let's get into this dish. This one is an absolute cracker. And as always, my friends, stay hungry, stay curious. Right, let's go.
So for the chicken tikka, you're going to need 700 grams of chicken thighs, boneless and skinless. These are some beautiful free-range ones. Cut them into bite-sized pieces and then set them aside. Now we're going to layer this up with Flavor Town. So we're going to need a teaspoon or 3 grams of salt, a teaspoon or 3 grams of ground cumin, a tablespoon or about 6 grams of ground coriander, a teaspoon of garam masala or 3 grams, and then a teaspoon each of red chili powder and Kashmiri chili powder. You can use a little bit less if you find that a bit too spicy, just half those amounts. Then you're going to need a teaspoon of turmeric, haldi as we like to call it, or 3 grams, and then a heaped teaspoon of garlic paste and a heaped teaspoon of ginger paste, about 4 or 5 grams of each. Recipe for those on the website, then add in 3 grams or a teaspoon of mustard powder and a teaspoon of fenugreek leaf, aka kasuri methi. Now you're going to need 50 grams or 2 heaped tablespoons of Greek yogurt. Squeeze over half a lemon. Now you want to get your gloves on. It's time for your regular physical, inspection, because we are going to scrunch this all together and mix this up. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to add in some oil as well. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of good quality oil. I've used extra virgin here. Now mix this all through with your lovely glove. Cover this with some cling film and refrigerate ideally for 24 hours. You can get away with 6, but 24 is where it's at. Now we're going to build the masala. So we're going to need 1 large onion. You're going to peel it, chop it up nice and fine, just go down like this, slice across like that in about 2 or 3 different ways, and then just slice through. Run your knife through it and get it as fine as you can. Don't worry if it's not ultra fine, because this is going to basically blend up later in our masala sauce. So I'm only going to need 1, so the other half I will set aside. Now put this aside, and then we're going to focus on our tomato puree. So we're going to need 500 grams of tomatoes. Now what you want to do is core them. Just take out the top like this, use the tip of your knife, and the core will come right out. Chop these up into little bits, make sure they're very ripe tomatoes. If you want to use canned tomatoes, it's going to be a little bit bitter, so you're going to need to adjust the sweetness. Blitz it up until it's lovely and smooth. Don't worry about straining it, and set it aside. Now we are going to heat up 4 tablespoons of ghee to get it nice and hot in a pan, so that when you add the onions, you hear this sound. Lovely. Now we're going to saute this with a little pinch of salt, and we're making what's called the tadka. You want to get it kind of dark brown and nutty. The secret here is stir it every minute and just keep it working around in the pan. If it looks like it's sticking, you can add another tablespoon of ghee. You want to take this quite far on a kind of low to medium heat. It'll take about 15, 17, 18 minutes until you get it nice and nutty like this. Add a heaped tablespoon each of ginger paste and garlic paste, about 7 grams each. Mix that round, that's going to deglaze it a bit, and now start adding the spices. 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of Kashmiri chili, 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon or 7 grams of ground coriander, a tablespoon or 2 grams of methi, kasuri methi that is, the fenugreek leaf, and then about 6 grams or a tablespoon of sugar. Mix that all through. Oh, and then we're going to add in our tomatoes at this stage. It's going to deglaze everything and get a nice little color going. And then we're going to add about 2 cups of water or so. Mix that through. Oh, and I also forgot 1.5 tablespoons of garam masala. Recipe for that on the website. It's about 8 grams. Okay, now all we're going to do now is reduce this for about 20-25 minutes. After 10 minutes, just make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. So just kind of stir it around. Put your lid back on, and you're looking for this kind of a consistency. Thick, little bit of body, nice and glossy. Now what we're going to do is take that, put it into a blender, and blitz it up until it goes nice and smooth. Add a bit of water to the pan and make sure you scrape out every last little bit. Plenty flavor left in there. Let that go until it's nice and smooth. Give it a little taste, and you can add a bit more salt or anything at this stage if you want to. Now put this into a pan, add a bit more water into that mixer just to make sure you get all of this lovely masala sauce, and then set this aside and let's focus on our chicken tikka. You can make that a couple of days in advance. That's the beauty of this dish. Now get a piece of foil, line a tray like this, and not a big tray, kind of like a half-size tray. Get your gloves on, start threading on your chicken tikka pieces. Leave a little bit of a gap, don't pack them too tight together. And then you're going to put them this way on the tray. What is that, horizontally? Something like that. And you're going to make sure that you're nicely arranged, and that creates a nice bit of airflow. Optional step, brush them with a bit of ghee, and we're going to grill these bad boys. You can do them in a pan too, but I like doing them in a grill. Takes about 7 to 8 minutes, turning halfway through. You can see they've got a lovely bit of color on there, so we're going to flip these, brush the other side with a bit more ghee, bang them back under the grill, and color that other side up. Like I said, you can do this in an air fryer, you can do this in your oven, pan, your choice. I just like to do this way because it gives you that kind of tikka vibe. Look at those bad boys. Now just thread them off and set them aside, and we're going to finish the rest of this dish. Now warm up your masala and add 150 mils of whipping cream. That is double cream. Incorporate that, mix that through. That's going to change the color, tone everything down a little bit, make it a little bit milder. Put a lid on, simmer it for about 10-15 minutes. Watch out, it will be volcanic and spit at you. Give it a little taste and see if it needs anything. At this stage, it needs a little bit more salt, a little bit more garam masala, and a little bit more sugar for me. And optionally, you can add a little bit more fenugreek, which is the kasuri methi. Now that looks pucker to me. I'll give it one more taste. Lovely. And then we're just going to reduce it for about another 4 or 5 minutes there. So in total, I did it for 15 minutes. Add that chicken tikka back in, mix it, give it about 2 minutes covered. Little pinch of kasuri methi there just because I like it. And that is pretty much your dish ready to rock and roller. That looks absolutely banging, chicken tikka masala. Plate that up into a bowl, serve it with a bit of rice, or just serve it with a bit of naan. I've got recipes for the naan bread on the website. You can put over a little bit of cream too if you like, a little bit more kasuri methi or even coriander. And there you have a belting bad boy chicken tikka masala. Get this in the weekly rotation, my friends. Trust me, this one is very nice indeed. Enjoy.
Make sure you get a bit of everything on this. Cheers. Absolutely banging. Bad boy chicken tikka masala. The chicken tikka is really nicely marinated, and you've got so many spices and flavors. It all works super, super well. And the good thing is with this, the next day this is going to taste even better, because when you make a curry, all those flavors, they need a day just to kind of like simmer, chill out, get to know each other, so that the next day when you eat this, it's going to be next level. I mean, it's already next level now, but there'll be another level after this tomorrow. Cheers. So do me a favor, a lot of you are non-followers. I have been looking into the stats a little bit, so please consider subscribing. It really helps this small channel get to lofty heights. So as always, my friends, stay hungry, stay curious, and let me know what you are curious to see in the next coming videos. Comment down below. Okay, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers. Oh, so good.